What's going on? My name is Sid, and as well as making entertainment-based content, I also make content that helps you get better at the game. And this video is that. It's the first part in a series of videos that is going to test and try all of the things that I'm going to tell you about in this video right here. This is the only channel you need to be going to for any of these performance improvements. I will be talking about everything in this video, that being the best cars to use, the best settings to use, the best tricks to use, the best difficulty adjustments to use, the best customizations to use that affect your performance. I'm going to talk about every single one of them. The only thing about this video is I'm not going to bother explaining any of them. I'm just going to tell you exactly which ones work and how they work, and why you need to use them. The future videos in this series are going to be going into testing those specific things, going from not using them to going from using them. And because I'm giving you all this information, do head down there and subscribe, because you're going to want to catch all those upcoming videos where I go into the more nuance of all these things. And while you're there, you might as well check out my socials. They're on screen right now. Just head over to any one of those. The podcast is a good one if you want that. Just check them all out. Now, this video will include the complete nuclear opposite. This run is the absolute bottom, to show how slow you can go with not using any of these assists, to show that the improvement is going to be massive. I'm using a car that I want to use, using none of the proper settings, none of the proper parts that I'm supposed to use, none of the changes, the tips, the tricks, the customizations. I'm using just this as I would enjoy the game when I first played it. And to begin with, this is nice. I like this. This is how I would play the game if I was just on wheel, chilling, playing through the playlists. Not everything has to be goddamn getting everything done in 2 seconds, but it's nice, alright? Getting to actually race the AI instead of being miles ahead of them instantaneously, actually having to brake and think about turns, it's actually quite nice. We're racing Kamehameha, so that's a fun one. But I've picked a race that is both really curvy, an incredibly curvy race, but also a race that then leads onto a bunch of straights. So straight line speed and the actual turning ability of a car is going to be tested here. There's also a bunch of tips when you're actually racing. Actually, in the race, I'm going to show you a bunch of tips and tricks for that too. Like the way you should drive, the way you should turn, the way you should use your nitrous. There's a bunch of tips and tricks that you probably don't know. In fact, a bunch of myths as well that I can debunk or confirm. Damn, having my assists on, it's been a while since I've been able to drive on grass without instantly sliding out. That's quite nice. In fact, I shouldn't have shortcut there. Those shortcuts are obviously, they're a thing you want to do. But I like this. The game feels more playable. It feels more fun. It feels more, well, for the certain type of player, alright? Look, I'm still gonna have to go back to using these insanely overpowered settings and whatnot anyway. I just enjoy the game like this, alright? Sue me. 2 minutes 46. Now, let's deck out our car. Well, to begin with, first, we're gonna need a new car, because although I might enjoy using this car, if you want to maximize your runs, you're gonna have to use the best cars. Now, I'm gonna keep it brief, but there is a best vehicle in every spec list, and that list will be in the description. I'm not gonna tell you the best vehicles in every spec in this video, because I want this video to stand the test of time, meaning I don't want this video to ever go out of date, basically. So instead, I'm going to link to a best in every spec guide that I've made. But until I make that guide, just a raw list is in the description. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. It's so that this video can be accurate no matter when you watch it, and instead an updated best in every spec guide can be posted, and that is where you get the actual on-time information that could go out of date. But it's alright, because I can just make a new one and then link that new one instead. But here we are, the Centodieci. That's gonna be the choice for me today, because this thing is just an all-around really good pick up and play for the casual players, meaning most of you guys, to be able to use. The Bugatti Centodieci you want to save up for because it's really good. The other ones are really good, they're just a bit hit or miss when it comes to picking up as a new player. You could use the Centodieci, get great with this, and then use the other cars that are listed. But seeming as this thing has survived being the best in the spec for a while now, I feel like it's gonna remain so. Next is obviously parts. Now you want to make sure you have the highest possible parts you can get, meaning 920 rated parts, or the highest for that specific spec. That will get you a big advantage. Let me get rid of all of these nonsense parts that I have. Hang on. Now, getting a car to a maximum level is not very difficult in this game. It's then getting the specific parts that you need here, because that one on the right you cannot change. So instead, you have to hope you get lucky and get that Nitro Chemist one on the right on every single one of your parts. That one is rough, but it's just what you're gonna have to do. Next, you then want to recalibrate this by just clicking on it, spending spare parts, which you get for scrapping parts, and money to change these to either a different one or a different percentage of the same one. You want to spam the top one until you get either extra pump or pure. Then you move on to the other one and get extra pump or pure. Or, well, the other one, and then you just spam the middle one until you get the maximum possible percentage, being 5% for either of those ones on a gold part set. Now, grinding parts is a difficult one, so there will be a grinding parts method, but at the moment, the most recent one is linked in the description, because that is another thing that will change constantly. Those are the methods you use to get the Nitro Chemist, and then you just want to recalibrate until you get to this point here. Then, something that is never going to change, and the link will only be to a video proving this fact, you want to go to the very bottom of Pro settings, the 4th setting on what's next. Then, when you're at the bottom, you want to set it to this right here. Anti-roll bars want to be set fully to 10% on the stiff side. And the camber is going to want to be set to minus 0.25 degrees. This is something that has been a thing since the Crew 2. They just sort of swapped around the position of those two items. But this is the one you want to use. This will immediately improve your vehicle's handling. That being turning, that being speed through turns. Next is where things get a bit wacky. So, these are things that may even be myths. But I'm telling you right now, the myths are true. Because a wide body does improve the performance of a car. Also coming over from the physics in the Crew 2 is the fact that a wider car handles better. Thus, any car that is you're using, you want to wide body it. Although it may be a detriment visually to most cars, you want to do it because it's a must. If you want a better run, you're gonna want a wider car. But it doesn't stop there when it comes to people doubting the things I'm saying. Because, and I trust me, there will be a video linked down there proving this fact. But vanity item tires do make a difference. In fact, that's not even the worst one here. But that is the red Rofo tire. Red Rofos and golden stripe tires are the two tires you want to be using, as they improve your handling the same way making a car wider does. Why does this happen? Well, different tires you'll notice, move your wheels out ever so slightly to different amounts. And the best one, found by thousands of hours of testing by the community, is red Rofos and golden stripe tires. So those are the ones you want to go with, as they put your tires at the precise best amount they can be at. Now it gets worse, because, and trust me here, audio signatures play a performance difference in your car. Some of them make you slower, some of them make the gearing worse, but the absolute best one for actually improving performance is the V8 Alpha GP engine swap. You unlock this for free in the Motorsports playlist as a vanity reward on the highest pack possible, past the tag at the end. There you go. It's in there, and that's where you get the vanity engine swap, which improves your car all the way around. This applies to any vehicle you can put that engine swap on. I can get hundreds of the players who have played thousands and thousands of hours themselves to prove this fact, but trust me, this video, I'm just telling you, I will make a video showing you why and how, but it does improve your performance. Next on the list, we want to go to options, because we start at difficulty, because there is a lot different when it comes to difficulty. You want to go down here to the global settings, because the initial ones that you use, the stock ones, being anything really, ESP, Sport, or even Comfort, Traction Control Comfort, ABS on, Drift Assist Sport, or probably Comfort, I assume. You probably have all of these on. You want to have this off, so Airplane Assist handling off, Counter steering assist off, but those don't really matter. Those are separate things. Drift assist to sport, but these are the important 3. These are the golden 3 you want to remember. ESP off. Traction control, sport. ABS, I'm gonna startle some Forza players here, on. You want ABS on. These are the settings you want to use. Your car will be slidey in the best way possible. ESP, though, is an active detriment, as it will just slow you down round turns. So you need that off. Traction control is alright, and yes, ABS is a must. But we're not done in the settings, because then you want to go down to controls and hop in this. You may know about this because we've talked about it a lot on the channel, but down in steering is now all of these different settings that you can change at the very bottom. Before we had the preset linearity dead zone highest, now we have direct mode and sensitivity and dynamic max lock. Now, the first thing you want to do, because it's the reason you're changing everything else, is not turn on direct mode. Direct mode, way too messy, way too inconsistent, way too unusable. Instead, you want to use these settings down here, and I say just max them out. It will be difficult. I had this to 95. I'm going to try 100%, because these, yes, will be difficult, but not as much as direct mode. But still a lot more than the 50 it was before. Next is, because we've done that, we need dead zone to be 0 for 1, and linearity needs to be maxed out so you have any control of your car. This is what's going to give you control of your car, because the x-axis is how much you've moved your left stick, and the y-axis is how much the game has actually applied that. And the maximum, thanks to direct mode, thanks to sensitivity and max lock, is way more than it could be before, but it's also way more at the very bottom. So you need linearity maxed so that you can actually control your car. This actually already has a video on the channel you can go and check out to find out the nuances. And finally, one you may not expect is that adding flames to your vehicles or racing stripes can actually improve your speed, and anime liveries will actually decrease your speed. I'm messing. I'm seeing if you paid. I'm seeing if you paid attention. Subscribe, by the way. Yeah. Okay. No, they don't do anything. Here we go. So back on the race to beat a 246. Already, you can hear the Alpha GP engine. That's going to kick in straight away, increasing our launch. The person we're racing obviously is put to the same parts level as us, so he is going to be something to deal with instantaneously. The turning should be faster. We slide a little bit, but you can mitigate that with just a bit of management on the left stick. Guttering is your first tip that I'm going to give you. Also, I'll talk about the nitrous in a minute. Guttering is when you put the sides closest to the turn off the road. This won't slow you down as going off-road normally does. Instead, it will yoink the car around the turn, essentially, if you can get it perfect. But there's some turns that are easier for it, some turns that are harder. Second tip is that make sure you nitrous only on straights. Nitrous round turns, nitrous out of turns while still turning is a negative. Not something you want to do. Nitrosing only really applies on straights. Also, a myth that is actually true is that nitrous is more powerful at the top of the tank. You don't want to go below half nitrous. Thankfully, in this game, it's labeled with a little nitrous symbol. Nitrous at the top of the tank is better than nitrous at the bottom of the tank, especially if you're not in a race with a bunch of straights. You just don't want to be using them. I'm also crashing a lot because oh god, I'm not entirely paying attention. I was explaining things to you guys, so you know what now? Let's actually goddamn do some good turns. You can see me going wide. You can see me trying to catch the gutter there. I'm gonna try that again. I missed the gutter. That's all good though. There we are. And final, let's gutter it. There we go. It just helps you out a little bit, way more than you could before. And then we're on a straight, so we're easily able to pace off. Now, you want to predict the turns. You also can notice, I would hope, when, oh god, I'm bad at the game, when you can take an off-road cut. But using these settings, you want to be a lot more careful going off-road than before, as you can completely eat it. You can just nuke yourself going off-road like this. There we go. Oh god, I'm sliding. Okay, I've got too much power! I've got too much power! No! Damn. Okay, but we have the speed, we have the acceleration, we have a car that is 10 times better, and for 10 times better, we get a 20-second better run. Is that potentially my best run ever on this race? Indeed it was. It was my best run. So you know what? It was also 3,000th in the world. You know what? I'm gonna do my outro, but instead of finishing the video, I'm just gonna do a fully focusing run. So make sure you subscribe, check out some of the merch on the merch store. Thank you to popular members, a special thank you to famous members, and an insane thank you to star members, Grim Pepper and Extreme Speed, and an insane top of the top thank you to Icon members, HK and Extreme Speed again. Let's hop into this, and with a final bonus tip that I can give you. While racing, I was using the third-person camera for the sake of the video, but when actually focusing, the one you really want to be using is this camera right here. This camera allows you to better scope the size of your vehicle, better get closer to the walls, take more precise lines. It gives you an exact idea of the direction your car is going, as well as you can see the road clearer. This is a all-around better camera view to use. Kamehameha, can you stop? Okay, now I just need to actually focus. He's wasting his NOS early. Yep, see, we caught up to him. No, he's an AI, it shouldn't matter. We're overtaking on the wide. All right, there we go. Coasting is important. That was a very perfect gutter ride. Thank you. Also, guttering is a lot more easy, as you can just line up the edge of the road with the center of your screen. I should have gutted there. I didn't manage to catch it. I was worried about going too tight. But all good. Here, we can probably cut this corner a little bit. Alright, and now, straight road so we can NOS. I don't actually think this is going to be a much better run. I think maybe, if I'm lucky, it'll be a couple seconds better. That's what I'm expecting, really. Okay. Car is very fidgety. You need to really get used to these kind of things. Okay, not bad, not bad. And again, cast the guard, cast the guard, cast the guard. Thank you. Okay, and not bad, not bad. And not bad. The slide at the end wasn't amazing, but I guess I'm gonna have to take it. See, this is open, so we can probably use a bit more nitrous than just the top of the tank. Now, a grass cut. Gotta be careful, as with these settings, it will slide. Same here. You kind of have to gauge a grass cut because you lose a lot of speed with anything that isn't rally raid, basically. So grass cuts are hit or miss. And clean turns, clean turns. Clean again. This one's a weird one. I don't like this turn most often. There we go. You can use full NOSes right at the end of the race. And we beat it by 5 seconds. Almost 5. 4 seconds. Chopped off. I'm going to take that. That's what? 25? 26? What, 25? 25 seconds chopped. Half a minute. Half a minute chopped off your run. That's insane. Yeah, nuts. All right. In a bit.